If you are planning to study MBBS at Kyrgyzstan, don't pay a single rupee or sign any documents for admission before watching this video. In this video, you will get to know about everything you need to know before going to Kyrgyzstan. Hi guys, I am Lipika, a 4th year MBBS student studying at ISHM ISKKKYUL Kyrgyzstan. If you ever wonder about how it is going to abroad and study, then you are at the right place. We will be discussing about academics, hostel life, student life, how the classes go on, and what are the things you need to know before picking your university. This series is all about giving you honest information, practical tips, and a real look into student life abroad. So let's get started. Why does a student choose Kyrgyzstan? Affordability should never be your only reason to join a university. Two universities with same fee structure can also have a great difference in their clinical activities and teaching quality also. So I would say compare every university you can out there and pick the right one for you. Always check for the NMC and WHO recognition for the listed institutes so that it will be helpful for you while your licensing exams, whether it be in India, US, or Germany, or any other Europe country. How do you know that MBBS in Kyrgyzstan is right for you? Here are few things you need to know and check it off your list so that you know whether you are ready or not to go to MBBS. If you qualified your need, are willing to move abroad, and are completely okay living alone without your family, and ready to adapt to different culture and a new climate, then I think you're 100% good to go and study abroad. Few things you need to know are university alone will not be enough for your licensing exams, and you need to get comfortable being independent, whether it being going to classes, managing your budget, or many other things which we'll cover in the further session. And most importantly, please don't choose going abroad just because someone else is doing it or someone else has told you. I would say if you want to go, you want to build your future, and you want to be a doctor, if it's within you, then please make a decision which will help you out. The next thing every student should know is how to pick a university. Mainly focus on 5 things like clinical exposure. It is really important for you to know how the life outside the textbook in the hospital would be. Second would be the teaching quality. You can check for how the teachers are teaching, what language are they teaching in, and how qualified the teachers are for teaching. Of course, you need a place to stay, so check for hostel facilities. In your hostel, you can look for things like how many members will be sharing the room, what kind of food will be provided, and what are the timings of hostel, and etc. Of course, you will need to check the background information like the FMG or next performance trends. If the university has a high passing percentage of the next or FMG exam, then I think that would be a really good university for you to pick. Lastly, the most important thing, make sure the recognition is by the relevant authorities so that it will help you in the licensing exams. You can also check a few aspects like support for student and hospital affiliations. That brings us to the next part. Here are a few questions you can ask while your admission. Make sure you ask these few simple questions so that you are more aware of your university. What will be included in your fees? What is the hostel fee? What are the facilities you will be getting in your hostel? And for students in Kyrgyzstan, especially, there is an annual medical insurance you need to pay and ask if it's included in your fees or not. One more thing you need to know will be your visa. Ask for what are the visa charges and how will be the application process done and what you need to do in the application process. For me personally, my visa is usually managed by the college. I only need to email them the document needed for the application of the visa. What I have seen is many students don't know whether they have to book the tickets or it is included in their fee structure. So get a clarity on that before you are signing your admission process. Always ask for a written fee structure so that you have an idea about what you're paying for and what you are getting. It's always good to know your finances before joining, but that's only one part of the story. Every student want to know how the student life is in Kyrgyzstan. So I'll share my experience of student life. Every student life starts and ends in the hostel. You wake up, go to classes and come back to hostel. So hostel life is a very big thing, and I would say I personally survived my hostel days because of my roommates. Every roommate I had is very good roommate. At the first, it will seem like, oh my god, I have to stay with these strangers or like that. But then eventually, those strangers become your friends. And remember, a roommate plays a big part in your life, so make sure you have a nice one. Let's talk about the weather there. It can be really cold and it can be a very perfect day, both at the same time. So, weather over there is very nice and very adaptable easily. But one thing we need to keep in mind is that the winter. In the winter, it will be really cold. We need to wear proper gear. We need to wear winter clothing. We need to wear our thermals and protect ourselves and keep ourselves warm. That's the only thing in the weather category we need to mostly focus on. And rest of the weather is mostly like you can survive there. You don't need special clothing or anything else in different in the rest of the months. Of course, a new country means a new language. But here we have two languages. Most of the people usually speak Russian and Kyrgyz. So if you don't know both the languages, don't worry. Most of the universities teach their students Russian and Kyrgyz language in the first year of their education. Even though there is a language barrier, everyone there is really kind and very welcoming for everybody. Of course, we'll be moving out of the country, so getting homesick is a really big thing. I used to be a very homesick kid because it was my first time in hostel, leaving home and living away from home. So that would be a really hard phase of my life, but I could get through it through the help of my friends, roommates, everybody who supported me. And for you to manage homesickness, I would suggest have a routine. In the morning, you have a morning routine, wake up, read, go out, play, include everything you can. Make yourself busy and involve yourself into studying so that it's more about your college life rather than thinking about home and stuff. So now that brings me on to the next topic, that is making friends. In medical college, friends can be your supporters and sometimes friends can also be your competitors. So make sure you have friends who do both because without competition, you cannot achieve anything in your studies, and without support, you cannot achieve anything in your life. Make sure you know who your friend is and who is not, and have set boundaries to respect yourself. As a student, everybody needs to know an important skill. That would be time management. To manage your time, you don't need a fixed routine or a intense 10-hour studying session or nothing like that. You just need to know when things need to be done, they need to be done. If you have to do something today, do it today. Don't postpone it to the next day. Now that we have completed about student life, let's talk about academics. Remember, being a medical student is about consistency. If you want to get through your medical college, you will need to be consistent. Right from your first semester. I know, first semester, you want to bunk classes, have fun. Yeah. Along with that, make sure you know what you have done. Be responsible, and if you have missed one class, make sure you learn that subject and you are clear with that class. One more thing you need to do is revise every day, and that will make your basics strong. As a medical student, of course, you will be giving vivas every week. So I would say practice for your Viva exams beforehand so that you will be not stumbling in front of your lecturer. And I would say don't wait until your final year to think about the licensing exams. Start as early as you can. Of course, we need to know about our expenses. Tuition fee is only a part of our expense. We also need to calculate our budget for hostel, food, mess, and personal expenses, also local transportation, visa charges, and flight charges. If if the hostel mess and the visa and flight charges are included in your fee structure, then you don't need to worry about it. So, as I mentioned before, you need to really discuss your fee structure and what is included and what is not included in your fees so that you know how to plan your budget around it. Plan your finances before leaving, it will help you a lot. Finally, I would like to advise everybody to choose a country which matches your goals, your budget, your learning style, and your long term plans. Research very thoroughly before you choose your college or your country. I hope this video has helped you understand a lot more about MBBS in Kyrgyzstan. In this series, our next episode will be on a complete packing guide for the first year students. Before leaving, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more videos. And let me know in the comments if you have any questions. I'll be glad to answer them. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Bye bye.